What life skills should children be taught before 18? How to implement a daily routine. How to meal plan and grocery shop. How to cook said meals. How to budget and allocate money to things. How to plan for the future. How to bathe. How to do daily self-care tasks. Daily home care tasks. Annual maintenance tasks. Emergency situations. How to communicate. Be in a relationship. Recognize toxic behaviors both in self and others. Source: I'm a nearly 30-year-old who can't look after myself because I was neglected. Things I wish I knew before I was 18. Emotional intelligence. Money management. Feelings aren't facts. High school is only a small fraction of your life. Adults don't know it all. Other people's opinions really and truly do not affect your life. Basically everything that used to be taught in schools. Namely in the home EC class. Cooking. Bookkeeping. Balancing your checkbook. Basic sewing. Etc. But kids these days need such things as how not be offended by simple words. That the world doesn't owe you shit. Social media isn't life. The world gets infinitely bigger and more robust the further away from your hometown you get. Cooking. How to budget money. The importance of saving money. How to change a tire. How to check tire pressures. How to check oil. How to unclog a sink. How to unclog a toilet. Goddamn. The list goes on a long time. Pretty much anything worth knowing to a well-functioning adult. Being thrown into adulthood having to figure everything out for yourself sucks. There's always YouTube, I guess. Is it racist to not like the sound of a language? I hope not. For me, oftentimes I find Cantonese or Mandarin to be grating. Mainly BCPPL who speak it sometimes sound like they're arguing even if they're not. The tone and intonation doesn't add up in my head lol. Obviously it's fully a me problem. It's not something that you mention to anyone though. I would say no. If you find the language unpleasant to hear for whatever reason that is just how you feel. I'd say it's no different than not liking the sound of a particular band. Everything isn't for everybody. I might keep that to myself if I were around native speakers often though. Understanding the description of why it is displeasing to you is important here. German is harsh and displeasing but Brazilian Portuguese is poetic to me and quat. That's not racists. Identifying characteristics is what helps differentiate the difference between racism and subjective taste. No. I think some languages sounds very aggressive. I have nothing against their ethnicity. It's just I'm not used to how loud, fast and edgy they pronounce things. I wouldn't listen to a guided sleep meditation with someone who has Arabic or Russian or German accent. It's too harsh for me. But I'm sure for Russians or Arabic people, they sound perfectly normal. It's all about what we're familiar with. No. As long as you're not being an asshole about it and making it your personality, then there should be no problem. I don't mind Japanese, Korean, or Mandarin. But when hear Mandarin in entertainment media, it sounds like they're whispering in my ear and it drives me insane. I have chalked it up to accents or certain frequencies that people talk at that you just find irritating. Like that one person's voice who just bothers you ever so slightly. Even though you have no beef. Did you donate to Wikipedia? Why or why not? I donate a small amount monthly. Why? Because I, like many others, get a lot of use out of it for free. And the knowledge from it has been very useful to me over time. Running a website as extensive as Wikipedia isn't cheap and it has to grow over time as human knowledge expands. I'd rather Wikipedia is kept running from crowdsourced donations than it be filled with ads and subject to the whims of corporations. No. Companies like Amazon and Apple are so reliant on Wikipedia that they would never let it fail. Having Wikipedia as a source for Alexa and Siri to pull answers from is so valuable they'd easily donate the few millions needed to keep Wikipedia alive if the site ever was in any legitimate threat of closing. Donating to Wikipedia myself would just reduce the amount of money that billion-dollar tech companies should be paying instead. Yes, I've given $20 so far and it's always for the same reason. It's not so much that I've benefited from them a lot. I just really want them to avoid getting bought out and becoming an untrustworthy, biased source. It's happened already with so-called trustworthy and unbiased sites. Why do you think that for the first month of release IMDb, owned by Amazon, had no reviews under 5 stars for the incredibly controversial show, Rings of Power, owned and produced by Amazon? No. And it's so fucking petty and makes me sound like I'm so full of myself. The highest level of fame I ever attained was somewhere around the lower middle of celebrity. You would have to be a pretty big fan of a band or the certain genre of music it comes from. Or have an absolutely insane depth of pro wrestling knowledge to have a clue who I am. Still, because everything that's been written about me on Wikipedia has been wrong. I am always personally offended when they ask me for money. Like I said, petty. Fellow men, what are the lessons you learned after living on your own that you would like to share with recently independent young men? Time to go against the grain here. Everyone's telling you to clean this and do that, but here's what I've learned. A. If you can afford it, don't be afraid to hire a housekeeper to do the bathrooms, kitchen and floors. There are very reasonably priced services available and it will be less stress in your life. B. Since you're a single guy, you may not have an in-house washer/dryer set up, so use a drop-off service. The laundry comes back clean/folded and ready to put away. It saves you time because instead of wasting time doing it yourself, you can use the time for something else that needs to be done or for relaxing. C. Nobody cares if you walk around balls-ass naked, so do it and enjoy the freedom of living on your own. Anytime a repair is needed. Buy the right tool. Look it up on YouTube. And repair it yourself if it's at all a reasonable job. 10 years and you'll own most everything you'll ever need and know how to do most of the basic maintenance at home. You'll save a ton over time. Have the right tools. And you'll look really manly to your future GF/wife. I'm not even what I would call handy, but most things really aren't that difficult. Learn to cook. It saves whole bunch of money. Get into habit of recording all your spending. Even when we think we don't waste money. We do. Those little Starbucks coffees here and there add up real fast. Weekend dates start to weigh heavy on your pocket. It's good to have actual numbers. Or else you will keep justifying to yourself, oh, I don't waste money and quat. Keep the house clean. This is a good habit. In words of Jordan Peterson, your bedroom/house is a small portion of universe that is under your control. If you can even keep that organized. How do you plan to organizing bigger things in life and quat?